Certainly no one dreamed that romantic movie icons like Rock Hudson and James Dean, who were leading men wooing Hollywood's most beautiful women, were homosexual. Those in my generation could go through their entire lives without ever being asked the question, "Are you straight or gay?" It simply wasn't on the radar screen for most Americans, nor was it on mine. It's hard to describe, then, the isolation I experienced as a boy when I started feeling different. There was no language to put around it. I wouldn't have imagined that anyone else in the world was feeling what I was feeling, but I knew from an early age that I was different. It didn't help when my Uncle Buck started calling me a sissy. I'm sure he wasn't thinking homosexual, but he did seem to sense that I was different, not like his own son or other boys. Effeminate, he might have said if he had even known the word, not like the masculine boy I was supposed to be. I hated him, and I feared him, because he seemed to know my little, horrifying secret, and he would communicate it to the world at our family gatherings with all the cruelty he could muster. The only place homosexuality was discussed, albeit in a veiled and cryptic way, was at church. From time to time, there would be diatribes about a man lying with a man being an abomination. While I had never, ever gone as far as imagining lying with another man, somehow I took these sermons personally. I didn't need any more fear and isolation in my life. But these sermons, for reasons I couldn't explain, added the fear that I might be an abomination to the God of all creation. Getting beaten up in the backyard at a classmate's house party didn't help. It was nothing truly dangerous, but I did not defend myself when friends began to rough me up. It must be true, I thought. I really am a sissy, not a man. And to this day I can remember the shame I felt at my father's obvious disappointment that I had not stood up for myself. 30, even 20 years ago, most Americans would have told you they didn't know anyone gay. They might have wondered and even joked about their weird Uncle Harold, who acted a bit strange, even effeminate. And they might have mentioned, usually with good humor and genuine affection, those two ladies who have lived at the end of the street forever. You know, the ones who keep their lawns so nice. But most Americans would have been telling the truth about not personally knowing anyone who acknowledged his or her same-gender attraction, not to mention doing so with pride and dignity. While the riot at the Stonewall Inn in New York officially galvanized the modern gay rights movement, and people began to understand more fully that there were homosexuals in the world, it was the AIDS crisis of the 1980s that alerted people to the presence in their midst of men who had sex with men. It was in 1982 that the New York Times reported on a new phenomenon. Growing numbers of men were dying of diseases previously almost unheard of. These opportunistic infections, normally kept at bay by a healthy immune system, were ravaging these previously healthy men. And these afflicted men were homosexuals. The word gay had come into the lexicon by this time, and it was used to describe these medical anomalies. Gay cancer. As men started to get sick, very sick, they began calling home from San Francisco, West Hollywood, and New York. They were calling their parents and brothers and sisters to say that they were dying. Yes, I have the gay cancer. Yes, I'm gay. And my friend, whom you have come to enjoy and love over the years, is my lover. And yes, he's taking care of me, except that he's getting sick too, and dying like me. Men from little towns and hamlets all over America who had lived the gay life in secret, in faraway places, were calling home to say, "I'm sick with the gay disease." And in countless homes all across America, mothers and fathers and siblings knew for the first time, or had their suspicions confirmed, that their son or brother was gay. Lesbians were increasingly outed by the same experience. Having also moved to places of acceptance and affirmation in large cities, they had come to know their gay brothers who were now becoming sick.